So you have a challenge, right? You've thought of a challenge as a group, or you've been assigned a challenge. Now we need to go and investigate that challenge and learn about that challenge so that the solutions that we come up with are as impactful as possible. Now the question is, how do we do that? A good starting point when trying to figure out what your challenge is all about is to define the scope of the challenge. In other words, what are the boundaries of how far I'm willing to go within my challenge? Let me see if I can reword that a little bit for you. If you were to say, I want to come up with a solution for malaria. That's a really broad scope because you're tackling malaria on a global perspective. If, however, you say, I want to help teach people about prevention of malaria within city X, you've defined a much more narrow scope, right? You've defined a specific aspect of the challenge of malaria, which is teaching them about precautions for malaria. And you've defined a special scope on who you're targeting, the demographic, people in city X. In the same way, I want you to think about what your challenge scope is. So before you move on to investigating your challenge in Diamond 1, I want you to try to word your challenge as a how might we statement that includes the context of the challenge and the demographic of the challenge. So for example, how might we reduce malaria amongst individuals in city X, right? Within that particular how might we, I haven't yet described the specific element of malaria that we're tackling because that might become clearer as I investigate it in Diamond 1. So for the scope for now, it doesn't have to be super narrow yet because you're going to rescope it at the end of Diamond 1. So for now, have a broader scope, but definitely have a scope. So pick, for example, a city that you want to focus on or a location that you want to focus on for your challenge. And try to word that as a sentence. It's also a very powerful way to articulate what you're working on. So have a go at doing that.